What's up, well, Eduardo Talbert here. This is Monster Tutorials. So in the last video, we made a sculpt of a head, right? And then we made a mold of the sculpt. We poured some latex, we pulled the latex out, we filled it up with foam, and we painted the base coat. In this video, we are going to finish this off. Right, this is kind of creepy to me. But I found this hair at the Goodwill store for $4.99. It's 100% human hair, which means that there's somebody walking around whose hair I have here in my hands, or worse yet, somebody that died a long time ago whose DNA I am playing with today. So anyway, it's real hair, we're going to use that, and it comes in this long strips like this. I think they can be found in wig shops. I just found this at the Goodwill, which is even creepier because who knows whose hair it is. But it comes like this, and we are going to cut little pieces at a time, and we're going to glue it all around the back. We're going to start at the bottom and then glue higher and higher, similar to like putting tiles on a roof, right? Instead of starting at the top and going down, we start at the bottom, then the next layer and the next layer. Right, let's get started with that. To mount this temporarily, I'm taking a skewer and just sliding it right into the foam. Right, so that's firm, and then we can cut this. So I'm going to just cut this here. And I'm going to take some styrofoam and slide in there. Now that's solid, so we can start. We have two hands to glue that hair on there. This should be a little bit easier. You put hair all over because it doesn't have ears, right? So we gotta cover that so the hair will fall straight from the sides, straight down. Kinda like this. Right, something like that. And we're going to go all around and glue that starting from the bottom to the top and fill out the gaps. So I'm just cutting pieces of hair out of the strip like that, and then we're going to take this hair and just carefully lay it where we put the glue. We're going to press it into the glue so that the glue grabs the hairs. And here on the bottom, it doesn't matter how messy it is because it's going to be covered. There you go. Let's do that all over the head. Check this out. So I added that hair. See that? Right, camera, help me out here. Okay. So if you leave it like that, you can have a shrunken head with a mullet. That'll be pretty cool. That's looking much better. I'm going to let that glue dry all the way and we'll style it and pull some of the loose hairs out. That's looking great. So I kind of styled the hair a little and I keep pulling some of the loose hairs. You're gonna have a lot of leftover hairs, but that looks cool. So next step, I don't have to go this far, but I'm going to hair punch the eyelashes and maybe even the eyebrows, okay? So for that I made my own hair punching tool. It's nothing but a paintbrush, and I cut up the part that was kind of solid from the glue because I let it to dry, and then I inserted a needle in there, right? And the needle, the head of the needle was cut in half, so it looked like a Y, and we're going to use the Y to push the hairs into the latex. A few people told me you cannot hair punch into latex, but I like to try it anyway. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it does, it does. I think it does. Now we can use this leftover hair, right, that has fallen from the head, to punch it into the eyebrows and everything. But it's kind of thin, so you can find something thicker. I have this is Barbie hair from a Barbie that I scalped many years ago, and I threw this in a box, and now I have it, so you can use this hair that is slightly curlier and a little bit thicker and use it to hair punch into the eyebrows and eyelashes. I took this eyebrow pencil and kind of drew the eyebrows there just to get a guide to see where I need to punch those hairs in. That would help. For the eyelids, for the eyelashes, I mean, it's easy because you can see where the eye is closed. So where the eye is closed, that's where we're going to punch the hairs in. So let me see if I can zoom in close enough so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see the needle. So that is the eye of the needle that has been split. So I'm going to just hook up some hairs, some of these Barbie hairs. And since these are the eyebrows, you can do more than one hair at a time, it'll be fine. And you push it in, push it out, and there you have the hair, see it? And we'll cut those later. Now I started here just to show you as a demo, but I'm going to start at this end and try to punch them in the direction that they grow. So here on the end, they will be growing out. So it will be something like this, right? See that? So this is quite tedious work, but the attention to detail will be appreciated by the people that see this. And I am not a professional at this, so I'm just winging it. If I'm doing it wrong, I am learning as I go as well. That is the nice bushy eyebrows, and we'll trim those later. So just keep punching it all the way, all the way. For the eyelids, we will do the same, and let me show you how I do it. And it's exactly the same process, but since the eye is closed, as you can see, here on this little edge, we're going to punch it into the edge. So let me grab a hair and show you one, because the process is exactly the same. Right there in the eye, and slide it in, pop it out, and there is one eyelash. Get another one here, right next to it. There you go. See if I can get this in focus. There's the eyelashes, and I'm going to go all the way around through here. Okay, and then I'm going to do this eye as well. All right, I'm going to keep doing this. I'll come back when this is a little bit further along. Check out those bushy eyebrows. I think that's the best angle right there. See that? So we're going to trim those with the scissors, nice and short. And then I'm going to finish this eyelashes like we did on this side. I'm going to do them on this side, and then we can start with the nose and the mouth. All right, that's looking great. I'm going to do some more eyelashes, and we are done here. Same here with the eyelashes. We're just going to cut them just a little bit longer, and we can curl those a little bit with an eyelash curler. That's looking pretty cool there. All right, start with the nose and the mouth. Okay, so for the mouth, I'm just going to sew it shut, and for that I'm going to use some of this twine and a huge needle. Okay, now to make the needle go a little bit easier through the latex, because it's kind of tough, we're going to put some petroleum jelly on it. I'm going to do 3 stitches, one on this side of the mouth, one on this side, and one in the middle, and then we will braid them as they fall. I have threaded some of this twine on my huge needle, and now to make it easier, just a little bit of petroleum jelly, not too much, because this latex is tough depending how thick you got it in there. So I'm going to just push it in right through there and right out to there, right? So that to me looks good. And use some pliers, it makes it easier. All right, so that's one. So we only need this. I'm going to do about a foot of twine, and then we can cut it to the desired length. Let me thread this needle again. And let's try this side right here. Right, that went in quite easily and out right there. And for the sewing of the mouth, zoom in a little. For this sewing, I am just going to even out this as even as possible and just knot it just like that. You can do a double knot if you want, but if you do that, I want it to hang down. So I'm going to put the knot towards the bottom, just like that, right? So there's one. There's two, pull it down. And let's get this knot to aim down. So I think that looks cool. As far as the braiding, well, we're just going to take this in the middle. See if you can follow this. Then take this one in the middle, then this one back in the middle. So it's just your traditional braid. I just need a third hand to hold the head still, but and we can decide how long we want this after we're done, so don't trim it yet. But the braiding, it's right there on the mouth, see? So it's holding the mouth shut so that the contents of the mouth, when it gets stuffed, don't come out. One last thing I want to do is put a piece of wood across the nose through the nostrils. Okay, for that we can use a toothpick or something, but I prefer to use there's a bamboo skewer right here. See that? And what I'm going to do is take a knife and whittle it a little bit so it looks more organic and not like machine made. So it looks like a branch that was used by the warrior tribe, right? So I'll make it pointy on both ends. And it's going to be only about that long. It's going to go across the nose right about there. So it needs to be about that long. So let's go ahead and cut it to length so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. I have whittled the little piece of wood, the shape that I want it. Now it has to go through the nose. So for that I'm using the needle again, okay? And I'm going to put some Vaseline again. And just poke a hole on this nostril. And out the other one. And this is just to give us the holes we need, because pushing that piece of wood through this latex will be kind of hard, right? So make sure it's nice and straight like you like it. There we go, just push it in. And that's hiding some of those flaws of the sculpting and casting we did. So this face is pretty much done. If you wanted, you could paint the string a little bit with some diluted black paint to make it look older, although this looks pretty vintage to me. And the piece of wood can be made all grungy as well. I might do that as well, but I'm going to do that off camera. Right now, let's talk about mounting this guy. To mount this head, what I'm going to use is, all right, I'm going to take this thing out. We don't need this anymore. I have these dowels right here, right? So these are just, they're a little bit neater looking than the bamboo skewer. These just look a little too cheap. And the mount has to look like it was from some research university, right? So that is perfect. We're going to decide how high we want it. So for now, I'm just going to put this where the bamboo skewer was. And it's in the shape, you know, the angle and everything that you want it. Okay, so leave that aside. The other thing I did is at a craft store, they also have it on Amazon, and all the links for the stuff I used are below. They have these wood pile round bases, and I've marked the center, and I found a drill bit that is the same size as the dowel, right? So it's the same size as this. So I'm going to drill this, not all the way through, but just down as vertical as possible, right? And we're going to insert the dowel in there, but not that high, because also at the dollar store I found this vase, and the vase fits perfectly on top of the base, right? The vase and the base fit perfectly. Now we need to fit the head in there, so we just need to measure, right, how high or how low you want the head in there. For me, for this one, I think maybe about right there. So let's cut this dowel and see how that fits. Cut this dowel. And in theory, this should fit perfectly. And it does. See that? So now, the other thing you can do if the hair is too long, because I just used the length that came from the store, right? This creepy stuff, right? That's how long it was, but you can give it a haircut to make the hair a little bit shorter, which I will do. And now, put this over it. You have yourself the perfect display for the shrunken head, right? But still not done yet, so I'll show you when I'm done with this. I'm going to do it off camera because this is something that you've seen me do before. So I'm going to take the dowel and the base, and I'm going to stain it with just regular wood stain. I'm just going to wipe it on, wipe it off with a paper towel, let it dry, and come and reassemble it, and I'll show you how it turns out. I'm also going to add one of those vintage labels that we made, that antique paper from a couple of tutorials ago. Right here it's saying it's a shrunken head and where it was found and that kind of cool stuff. So it complements my display of oddities and curiosities that I have around the corner in the back. So let's see what it looks like, and we can close this video. There you have it. Your very own shrunken head. I realized this was a more complicated tutorial, but I hope it was step by step and you could figure out all the different steps. We ended up with a more realistic look than the first one that I did. I think it turned out pretty cool. And actually by casting it in plaster with liquid latex, you can make more than one. So here's two of them. If you're watching this in 2019 before December, I will be auctioning one of these for my charity auction. I support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, so I'm going to auction one of these. The information will be forthcoming in a future video on how you can bid on one of these, and 100% of the proceeds of the auction will go to St. Jude. Right? I hope you loved this tutorial. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because we have all kinds of cool stuff here. And the yeah, I'll see you on the next tutorial. So again, I'm Eduardo, this is Monster Tutorials, and you, me, all of us, we are the prop mob. I'll see you next time.